Okay, I think we should be back online now. I don't know what happened or what went wrong. Okay, I think we should be back online now. I don't know what happened or what went wrong. Okay. All right, I can see on Twitch that it's running, and now I can get back to the game. All right, so I'm assuming that that has not been up since after killing Gravelord Nito. We have not killed another boss in that time. It's definitely some weirdness going on there between Twitch and my Streamlabs, because Streamlabs was displaying that as being online. So now we find ourselves in the Abyss. Beat down some of these humanities. The attack pattern for these guys is really indistinct. Thankfully, we don't need to fight them too much. And here we find Baby Sif. Sif provides us with a cleansing great shield, which is a strong option for coping with the fight with Manas. It's not ultimately necessary, however. But now that we have met Sif down here, we'll have a unique interaction later when we go to do the Sif boss fight, which we still have to do in order to get access to the Covenant of Artorias, a ring that is necessary to beat the game. Right, this is the area that kind of illusioned off. Let's see. Where was that shortcut bit earlier? It's there, but I don't necessarily want to take that elevator back up. There was another way that I walked down here. Oh, no, I actually did fall down here, that's right. So I may not have a way up that's really available. Unless maybe it's over here. Well, that got me good. Alright, so I don't think I have in a recording either what has happened between that boss fight and now. Mostly it's missing the end of the boss fight that is a bummer. So back to the dungeon. There are not many more places I can think to check regarding the location of the key to get to Hawkeye Go. So we've definitely still got this group of clowns over here, which I need to somehow find a way to get through to that item. There, got through them. Okay, that's a very powerful spell, but it doesn't really matter for me. So, where on earth is this stupid key? Okay. So we're done in the Tomb of the Giants. We dealt with that. I think I'm going to spend a bit of time running around Izalith. I might have to look up the location of the key for Hawkeye Go, because I'm really not in the mood to wander around that entire area at SL1 trying to like get every nook and cranny and waste, you know, hours of everybody's time trying to find a single key somewhere. So let's see. So we'll be taking the back door into Izalith, which is over this way. Let me go ahead and grab this item over here. Oh, I did that wrong. I'm going to take a lot of damage. Chug some OJ. Kick back a little high C. Gotta get that Sunny D. If we had progressed the quest chain for... what's his name? That knight. Solaire. If we progressed the quest chain for Knight Solaire, it would eventually lead here. And at this place, if you have not first killed the Sunlight Maggot and gotten this neat hat, Solaire will be wearing the Sunlight Maggot, and he'll be kind of crazy, and you'll have to kill him. But if you do this and you're able to prevent him from dying, you can actually summon Solaire to assist you in fighting the final boss. I don't necessarily want to remember how to fight these guys. It's like a whole thing. If I kill him, he won't come back. But I'm more interested right now in getting my bearings. Right, and I believe there's a bonfire somewhere around here that would prevent me from needing to go through that direction. Problem is, I'm gonna have to chop through a lot of bland guys to get there. This might be a while. A lot of slapping fat demons. Okay, so let's see. Some of these are actually just statues, thankfully. Uh-oh. Let's see. I forget where this is. I do know that if I had been properly progressing the plot line for the Onion Knight Sigmire, he will show up here. And I have to join him for killing some of these things. It can go badly too. There's a particular segment where like he will need to do a fight alongside you, and if he dies, he's just dead for your playthrough, and that's it. And you have lost that side quest. This doesn't lead anywhere useful, does it? Boy. The enemies that we've got hanging out around here are super obnoxious. They actually spit a weapon-degrading acid, and they've got like a grab attack where they try to eat you. I think we might need to go down in there and fight them now that I've fallen into this pit. I don't think there's another thing for me to do. So... yeah, and this is also poison muck that slows us down. So, hey, we got green Titanite shards. I'm just going to try and see if I can leave without having to kill all these goons. Because they are a very clunky enemy. Is this a death pit? It is today. It looks like that might actually be some kind of an elevator, or maybe there's some other thing you can activate that doesn't involve you dying, but I don't know what it is. I forgot to rest at the bonfire when I warped over there. Let's see. Now, I did find... a couple of those. Let's see, I'm going to use one of these. I think I can upgrade my fire reinforced club. with the materials I found down there. There's the +4. Okay, one more green Titanite shard, and it gets up to the +5. After that, I believe I need to take it back to Rickert. No, wait, it's not Rickert. It's the skeleton. I need to take it back to the skeleton blacksmith, and then I think he should be able to make it up to +6. And then I upgrade it the rest of the way with red Titanite chunks. And then it has to capstone with a red Titanite slab, and I don't remember for the life of me where to find those things. That's just the way of it. Okay, we'll do that jump correctly this time so that we can get this other item. More souls. Huh. Running along the top there is going to get me killed. So I need to find a spot where I can drop down onto this. Thereby taking some damage, and not all of the damage. I'm trying to remember if there's anything fancy back here. Looks like a definite no. Somebody left a message. Alright, so we've got the Titanite Demon up here, of course. So there's definitely these conflicting motifs going on, where you've got light and roots and lava and fire, but they just combine roots and fire as if it's the most natural thing to be in the same place. Like, yeah, of course, you know, the base that's covered in magma is all overgrown and root-like, but the truth of it is, being overgrown and root-like is like the natural state of this part of the world. I didn't quite die. He's gonna try to fix that. Okay, now we should be good to just run. Even if he shoots another blast, it won't kill us. I think this platform is something akin to an elevator relative to below. Alright, so this time that thing is already open now. So we're not going to fall in that pit. It's nice that these guys stagger so much. That gives a lot of leeway in dealing with them. So Izalith is evidently an unfinished area in the game. Like, they didn't actually get this to look like what they intended. A lot of people complain about it and say it's kind of bland. I think it's fine. I think it's just, well, I mean, fine enough. It's kind of missing a bonfire. It feels like this would be a much easier place to deal with if there was maybe one more bonfire around somewhere. Because there's a lot of stuff you wind up running through. Now, that being said, I think there is a bonfire somewhere around here that I'm kind of looking for. Because I don't want to have to run past the Titanite Demon every time I make a mistake. I think the Chaos Ember is also somewhere around here. That's not really a priority. I'm not going to use a Chaos weapon at any point in time. Oops. This is maybe a dangerous spot to hang out. These guys here appear to have not been triggered just by me being here. I suppose the real problem with Izalith is that it's full of all these just boring enemies. Like, it's one thing to be Anne Orlando, just full of all this really challenging stuff. But really, Izalith just feels kind of empty, and there's this smattering of kind of busy work level enemies that are around. And the final boss of here is kind of uniformly reviled. For us on an SL1 playthrough, it doesn't really matter much. The boss is essentially a platforming challenge instead of being like a fight, which is in ways an interesting subversion. It's interesting to think about like the lords fallen low, and the lords of old no longer having the power and the stature to be proper bosses. But all the same, it's kind of annoying. And a lot of that comes down to the run back for this boss is really painful. Which is why I am trying to remember where I can find the bonfire closest to this actual boss. Is it down this way? I had thought the bonfire I'm looking for is actually in the ruins themselves. But if not, it would be preceding the ruins somewhere around here. Okay, there's a bonfire back there. That might actually be the best bonfire for this run, apart from the back entrance that we're currently using that requires me to go past the Titanite Demon. The back entrance is putting me pretty close, so I might just want to knuckle down and kill the Titanite Demon, and then I'll have an easier time of it. Because if not, every time I need to challenge this boss, I'm going to have to run down this route, kill all of those guys, and then I have to make my way through this hall, which you may recall involved like 8 more stupid fat demon things. And then I can go up these stairs, which is like the proper way in, where I believe I'll have to fight this guy, possibly several times. Thankfully, he's a pushover. Okay. And then I'll get up to here. That entity up there is like a proper sub-boss. It's like a PvP-style pyromancer duel type of thing. I guess I'll go for that now anyway. There's not really anything else here to spend my time on. I'm kind of dithering. You'll notice she's wearing the same outfit I am. She is one of the daughters of Izalith. One of the daughters of the legendary Witch of Izalith. Which is kind of who we're here to see, because that is the lord we are after in this area. I think he was about to try to grab me, so I'm very glad to make that not happen. And that is not a mimic. So here we get the Chaos Fire Whip Pyromancy, which is pretty strong, to be fair. And this doesn't lead anywhere. And then the boss, I believe, is through here. Yes. So here we'll be facing off against the Bed of Chaos. There is a very tricky, very quick way to do this. It's like really technical, using fire bombs. I don't know that route, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and do this the old-fashioned pain-in-the-neck way. So there's a couple tricks about Bed of Chaos. One of which is that they make very sweeping, hard-to-avoid attacks that I don't even remember how to avoid. Not even vaguely. That's just going to crush me twice in a row and I'm dead. We need to break the seals on either side of this, and then there's like a bit in the middle we need to kill. The trick about this is that after the first what's it called? After we break one of the seals, some of the ground is going to fall away. So we have to deal with these pits in the floor while we're also dealing with these sweeping attacks, several of which will just knock you into pits if you get hit. So regardless of how you're playing the game, you have to get through this game, you have to get through this fight kind of by avoiding, just because you'll get bashed around and dead anyway. So the shorter running route is definitely this way. So we are just gonna, and it's shorter not because of like physical distance, it's shorter because we don't have to deal with as many of the stupid little pudgy rock demons. And that's really what I'm concerned with avoiding here in terms of time bloat. Okay. Yeah, back when I was originally going through a Soul Level 1 run, it was a lot more reference heavy for me in terms of like tabbing out to some kind of internet thing to figure out what I had to do. Not in terms of exploration necessarily, but more in terms of some of these boss fights. Nope, got hit. Some of the boss fights are just quite tricky, and if you have to experiment when you're in a one-shottable state about when you can take openings and do that kind of stuff, it can take a long time to figure out how to fight certain bosses. So a lot of these cases, you just quickly watch like a no-hit strat guide for how to fight the boss, and then it comes down to execution. And it's only by watching some other people's strats online that I realized certain things like Artorias has an opening for taking a leaping swing so long as you backpedal adequately, or you do an early back roll in response to his sliding horizontal slash. And there are other fights that I did have to basically figure out myself, like you don't get a lot of assistance in terms of Calamite. Like, no matter who you watch online beat Calamite, it's still a nightmarish execution. Try poison. That's right, that's right. There's a vague possibility that you can use a poison attack through the door and kill the sunlight maggot, which can save Solaire. And will also, I think, guarantee you the item if you kill it, then quit and reload. Alright, I just need to dodge this guy successfully like 3 or 4 times, really. Better than that. Yeah. This is a bit of a tight space to fight him in. And I really don't remember how to fight Titanite Demons well. But once we kill him once, we don't have to do this again. There's a pretty good number of Titanite Demons in the game. And they're like one of the only... You need to kill them if you want to upgrade boss weapons. But there's not a single boss weapon that we can actually equip and use. And, so we don't need to worry about these guys at all. That is the wrong way to go. I need to go this way. But yeah, there's one of these guys in Anne Orlando, one of them in the Undead Parish. There are a couple of them in the basement of Sen's Fortress. And those guys are absolutely miserable to take on, because they're basically all sitting in tar, and they're actually close enough to each other that you can kind of get blasted by one of them while you're fighting one. It's rough. I wonder if I can bleed this thing. I'm gonna try one more time with the blacksmith hammer, and if that fails, I might switch over to my raw club and try like enchanting it, doing some other stuff with that. That's interesting. I only did one thing. There's a stagger. These guys do have a lot of health. Ow. Okay. I got lucky on some of those attack patterns. And he got snagged on some things in a weird way. But he's dead now. That's very nice. Okay, so when we're taking this route, I think we can probably run past all these things and just take this on the left here. Yeah, because it's just here, up the stairs, and then we're at the boss fight. So yeah, because we are loyal to the Chaos Servant Covenant, we have a 0 fight route to the boss. Always nice. Estus is mostly pointless for this. I think anytime we could use Estus, we're basically just going to die. So I believe that like the super cool speed strat for this boss fight is like you just run into the middle and you huck a firebomb to the left and to the right, and that's like the fight. Because there's like a spot over here. Oh, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. That's not quite right. The boss has a pretty hard time attacking you over here. I think I'm not actually missing the spot by that much that I need to hit. Maybe by a bit more. Go higher. That's hitting early. It's like a lot of these branches and trees and stuff don't have any collision. I do have a lot of firebombs to try this with. No, so maybe like this. Higher. One to the left. Okay, no, that's breaking way too early. Okay, I'm not going to figure that out anytime soon without like looking at a guide or a reference of some kind. But I'm going to try hucking one from back here though. No? Okay. What's actually the vulnerable point is my question. Alright, well, let's just run in here. I got hit again the same way I got hit the first time I tried this fight. Okay, so that doesn't hit out to here. Whoops, I meant to Estus. Okay, so... let's give my stamina back. There we go. One part done. So is it actually the cord that I need to hit? And this is a phase transition on the boss, basically. it starts doing nastier stuff now that we've like figured out what to do. I think it can throw pyromancy now. I don't remember. Yeah, it's much angrier. The look of it, you may notice, is somewhat similar to Ceaseless Discharge. Oh, that was bound to happen. I looked away for a moment. Alright, now I need to remember if the fight, like, checkpoints me on that. I don't remember if that stays destroyed or if you have to pop it every single time. I think you have to pop it every single time. Okay, so I think that if I'm using the firebomb method, what I'm aiming for, I think, is actually the chain link that comes down, instead of anything inside of the little barricade. Inside of the barricade, I had to go through several routes, and I don't think it's very likely that I can get a firebomb past all those routes. Definitely have to look at the speedrun tech if I want to figure out the quick kill. Trickiest thing about it is, like, when you're going for the last bit is in the center, and it does require you to usually manage a pretty tricky jump. And it's not tricky because the jump itself is tricky, it's tricky because you're being attacked, of course. Oh, this demon actually respawns. Okay, so this was a waste of our time to kill that guy the first time. I think this might be the only respawning Titanite Demon. They might respawn. The ones in Sen's Fortress might respawn, I'm not sure. Well, then it is not a zero enemy route. Wow, that was mean. I don't know what attack he used. Alright. So let me try going past him on his left side, because I think he used the quick thrust attack, and he might have gotten me when I was in roll startup. I was trying to get ready to input a roll. So something like that must have happened. Not sure. Actually, wait, am I still using the... Yeah, I'm still using the steel stone plate ring. I think the Titanite Demon attacks might be partially magical. Let's see. I think, on another note, I think that I can theoretically farm green Titanite shards out of the big multi-eye guys with the funnel mouths and all the other nonsense. I could probably just call them the Eldritch Horrors and you'd know what I mean. I think they might drop green Titanite on a semi-regular basis if I need to farm it. I certainly don't know where I can buy it. He did it right away again. Okay, I need to crack him once on the back to get him to turn around, and then once he turns around, I just follow his back and then I run the other way. I do think I wasn't trying to run past him earlier. That's something new. Yeah, alright. It's this one. There we go. So I suppose the other route that I could be running is safer because it doesn't have a Titanite Demon, but it's longer and it involves slapping to death a whole lot of other guys. I might be able to run through most of the fire breathers on that route. If I can just learn how to run past this one Titanite Demon, it seems simpler. So funnily enough, you can actually take this route and avoid having to fight both the Demon Fire Sage and the Centipede Demon, and still come through here and get this soul. It's an interesting prospect. You can't necessarily try to do that in like a speedy process. That was very rude, but that's fine. I got away from him. There we go. With that choice of attacks, I don't think he can get me anymore, because he won't try to do lightning from that far away. That's a lightning attempt. Okay. Well, it won't hit me, so that counts. Alright, so that's fairly simple. One tag on his back, and then we can move on. And we're going up through here. So let's see if the boss remembers that I pissed it off. Or if I have to break that piece again. I think this boss might actually remember the state that it's in from attempt to attempt. And that is correct. So that left piece is that piece on the right is done. I don't need to do it again. However, yeah. The arena falling happens with a bit of a delay after you get in. So I need to sit back and wait for the arena to catch up to the phase that I'm on. Otherwise, I'm just going to stumble into a pit like I just did. Super fun boss fight. I mean, hey, before Dark Souls is Dark Souls, it is also just a video game. I mean, everything's fair. You can't say that, like, oh, this boss is cheesy. The whole game is cheesy. Wake up. Like, I spent the first couple of hours of this speedrun just backstabbing everything. Over and over again, even. Because it's easy. It does a lot of damage. So... So I can't seriously gripe if one of the late game bosses is kind of a cheese fest. And now I'm a little hungry. I started thinking about macaroni. I think it's too late for me to go out and like get something. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Everything's closed. I should have picked up ice cream earlier in the week. This is my own failing. I'll take it out on you. Now jump or something. Got it. So long as he doesn't do lightning right away. We did it, but with a delay. Herp. We're good. Okay, so I have to get to the boss arena and kind of sit there for a bit until the boss arena updates to match what it's supposed to look like. Okay, I did not get on at the right spot. Cool, that was dangerous. Okay, bit of chaos. Here we go. Yep, I fell in a pit. Those bloodstains there are all people who fell in pits. If you get killed by getting smacked around, your bloodstain shows up in the arena. There are a lot of bloodstains not in the arena. There's plenty of people die on this fight without getting smacked around at all. So I do want to stand behind something for a little bit while I wait for the arena to update. Getting the feeling those bits in the floor are not going to open until I get close to them. Super polite. I think I can run back behind here. Okay, so... Huh. That's really something. Okay, can I just huck one of these? That's going too low. It's not getting there. Alright. It's not getting there either. I don't think I can jump that gap. So I'm going to have to work backwards a little bit. Unless I can kind of jank my way onto this root structure and use that to get up. Okay, not quite. The collision is not with me on that one. So we run back over here. Okay, I think I'm going to have to get over this way. And that completely killed me. Okay, so I have to get onto the inner ring, kind of, and then run to the left along that route. I might be able to do that during her kind of, like, startup thing. And if we can do this fight in chunks, it's fine to get stranded over there and get completely messed up. So when I exported some of this stuff over to YouTube, any of the bits where I was fighting a major boss, if I stop talking while I'm fighting a major boss, YouTube picks up on the copyrighted background music and demonetizes the video. I don't care because, like, it's not like I'm going to make any meaningful ad revenue out of YouTube, but it's just kind of funny that that's the way it works. And also kind of funny that if you're talking the whole time, you're not going to get affected. So, theoretically, if I can keep up talking during all the boss fights at all times, it's possible to make ad revenue off of the YouTube videos if anybody ever sits down to watch them. Of course, to make anything more than like an errant $2, I'm sure you have to have a lot of people watching. I fully expect the math is like hundreds of cents per view or something like that. I don't know. It's nothing I've ever seriously looked into. He's just swinging. If he charges lightning, I can hear it. That's the start of a lightning charge. And that's the proof that I was right about my hearing. Yeah, some of these bits of roots, the character is just happy to like kip up onto with just a little extra step. Other times, it's just insurmountable, man. It's a game that incidentally features platforming. It's not like... It does not appear to be part of the build, per se. Okay, so, into the center until I get to that, like, rimmed part of the dais, and then I cut left, and none of that should fall away. So I need to get about here, and then cut for this. And it got killed. Maybe if I bait out one swing and then finish the run, that would be best. Because that attack she's doing is definitely triggered by proximity. There's also a case here where the controls of Dark Souls 1 make this kind of thing harder to do than it is in Dark Souls 2. In Dark Souls 1, you jump by hitting B while running, which replaces your dodge, and the jump does not have any invulnerability on it. In Dark Souls 2, you jump by clicking down the middle stick while running. As a consequence, in Dark Souls 2, you can roll while running without an issue just by releasing and pressing B. Whereas here, releasing and pressing B during a run gives me this jump, which is very vulnerable. And part of the reason why I'm being one-shot by this sweep attack is I'm triggering a jump, which causes me to take extra damage from the sweep. Not just full damage, but a little bit more than full damage. Because if it's just the full damage of the sweep, I believe that doesn't kill me. So our earlier palm slap didn't kill me either. Let's see, after the Bed of Chaos, we've only got one more Lord Soul to deal with, which is the Four Kings down in New Londo. The Four Kings are a reasonably difficult boss, but the other thing about them is that they actually have the worst boss run back in the game. So per attempt, they're actually just obnoxious. Ideally, we can beat them in like 2 to 3 attempts or so, which is actually pretty reasonable to say. Their fight is a damage race where largely we're only going to dodge like 2 or 3 times during their entire boss fight. You just kind of show up and wail into them as fast and as hard as you can and dodge like maybe 1 attack and keep going, and you repeat that cycle until you've gotten them all down. Because if it takes you long enough, more than one of the Four Kings will show up at a time. They are on a timer, and strictly speaking, there are not strictly 4 of them. Okay, so it seems like now that area is actually already fallen away now. So that happens. I trigger the sweep. The sweep works independently. There's evidence of the sweep not instantly killing me. Okay, now I'm going to try to run. Oh, that is a weird, kind of fortuitous push, actually. We can jump back across. Shit! Okay. Oh, come on now, come on, I'm so close. I just need to get through this. Alright, alright. I was